you still running your business on QuickBooks, but feel like you're fighting spreadsheets, disconnected systems, or missing some features you always wished for? So let's talk about when it's time to upgrade from QuickBooks to Microsoft Business Central and how to know if now is your moment to upgrade. So QuickBooks is a workhorse for many small businesses. It's simple, it's familiar, it's reliable, but as you grow, its limitations start to surface. You're patching holes with Excel. You have bolt-on inventory or CRM apps. You consolidate across entities the hard way. And eventually, QuickBooks becomes less of a solution and more of a burden for your business. So, when do you know when it's time to make the switch? So, in this video, we'll cover all that so you can make an educated decision. So, here's what we're going to cover: the telltale signs that QuickBooks is no longer enough for your business, what Business Central enables that QuickBooks does not, the hidden costs of staying too long on QuickBooks, fear factors such as costs, disruptions, implementation timelines and length, and a simple decision checklist so you know when you're ready to move and what to do next if you're ready to upgrade. So first, let's tackle the red flags for when you know it's time to act or time to move off QuickBooks. You have too many spreadsheets. The first one. If your finance team lives in Excel more than QuickBooks, that's a clear signal that maybe it's too much for you now. Inventory headaches. So QuickBooks struggles with complex inventory warehousing, batch or serial tracking. Multi-entity pain. So if you run subsidiaries, branches, or multiple currencies, consolidations hurt. Then you know it's time to upgrade. Reporting blind spots. So leadership asks you for reports that you just simply can't deliver in QuickBooks. System sprawl. So you're managing separate CRM, payroll, e-commerce, and more in the disconnected tools. And then investor audit pressure. You're facing compliance, external stakeholders demand better systems. So if one or two of these red flags resonate, then it might be already time to move on to QuickBooks. You've already kind of outgrown it. So what would Business Central bring to the table that QuickBooks does not? So it's just not a bigger QuickBooks. It's a full ERP built to scale. So you can have a full united platform from finance, sales, inventory, supply chain, all in one system. It provides a deep Microsoft ecosystem with integrations to Outlook, Teams, Power BI for reporting, and it has scalability. It supports growth from 10 to up to 500 plus users, multiple entities, multiple currencies, and then it has reporting and analytics, so real-time dashboards, insights, predictive metrics, and it also has some type of industry depth if you're a distributor or manufacturer. So these capabilities, QuickBooks cannot match. So here's where the math gets interesting. Companies that stay in QuickBooks too long often lose 8 to 12 hours per week per finance employee, just managing workarounds, reconsolidating spreadsheets, and manual consolidations. At $40 an hour loaded, that's $16,000 to $24,000 wasted per employee per year. Stack that across your team, and the cheap system starts looking very expensive. So now let's face the fears that you have for QuickBooks, or moving on from QuickBooks. It'll be too expensive, is something we hear quite a bit. So licenses for Business Central start around $80 per user per month, and then the higher end, they're only $110 per user per month. And the typical implementation can range between $25,000 to $150,000, and many recoup that cost from eliminating waste or just from ROI over the years. Another fear is that it'll take forever. So most SMBs can implement Business Central, somewhere between 3 and 6 months, maybe more if you're complicated, but not that much. It's quick, 6 months. Smaller projects you can even see go live in 2-3 months. And then the last fear that we hear a lot is it causes disruption. You can mitigate that with phased rollouts, role-based training, change management. So when it comes down to it, actually the bigger risk is staying stuck, delaying your growth of your business. So based on that, let's go through some pros and cons of QuickBooks and Business Central. So first, for QuickBooks, on the pros, it's affordable, it's familiar, it's very easy to use. That's why a lot of really small businesses use it. And then the cons are its limited inventory, weak reporting, no multi-entity. So those are the main cons there. So maybe if you're experiencing any of those drawbacks, you may look to move on to an ERP or to Business Central. And now for Business Central, the pros: it's a scalable ERP, it has deep Microsoft integration, robust reporting, and it's a one unified ERP system. So the cons, if you're maybe on QuickBooks currently, would be a high Upfront planning, it is a large investment from 25 to 150K, we said earlier. And there is some type of change management required to kind of move on to a new system. So now that we've covered all that, here's a quick decision checklist. Do you spend more time in Excel than QuickBooks? Do you need real inventory warehousing and manufacturing? Do you have multiple entities or currencies? Are you struggling to produce leadership or custom reports? Is growth being slowed by limitations to your current system? So if you've answered yes to two or more, you're likely ready to upgrade out of QuickBooks. So thanks for watching our video. I hope that it helped you make that decision. Hit like, subscribe, share it with someone that's still wrestling with QuickBooks, and let us know if you have any more ERP burning questions. So we'd love to help you out if you do. Until then, see you next time, and thanks for watching.